American soldier injured in one of Iran's attacks at the start of the war has succumbed to their wounds. That makes this the 7th service member killed in action during Operation Epic Fury. However, there were reports overseas that there's way more American troops dead and that the government's hiding it. Honestly, I don't even know what the hell is true anymore. I do know that Carolyn Leavitt said that President Trump is not ruling out a draft. You're not taking my effing kid. And that President Trump was golfing today. And listen, I don't care if it's a Republican president, a Democrat president. If we're at war, keep your ass at home. I don't want to see you out enjoying yourself. I really don't. Especially the rest of us can't afford to pay for gas, pay for groceries, can't find jobs. The son of slain Iranian leader Ayatollah Khomeini has been tapped as the regime's next supreme leader. So this kid, he's not even a kid, Mojaba, Trump has dismissed him as being a lightweight. However, he, also hates the West. And there's a good chance he's going to operate just like his father did. Now, here's something that's going to make it even worse. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the short man syndrome, where a guy, if he's really short, he tries to make up for that, either professionally or his personal life, just the way that he behaves, treats people, handles himself. I once worked for a guy who was short and cross-eyed. You can imagine what a nightmare that was. But here's what Mojaba has going on for him. There's reports that he couldn't perform with his wife. I'm not talking like a dance routine, okay? He couldn't perform and had to be hospitalized for being impotent. So he had to go on 4 separate occasions for these treatments. So you can imagine what this guy's like. Parts of the Kansas City International Airport in Missouri were evacuated as authorities investigated a potential threat. Did you see that threat on the Southwest airplane where a guy stood up and was threatening to bomb the plane? And he was shouting Allah Akbar. And then the military came on and they were shouting for people to put their hands up, heads down. And the flight attendants kept shouting, hands up, heads down, hands up. It was so creepy. We live in scary times. This story is heartbreaking on both sides, okay? A Georgia teenager is facing a homicide charge after running over a high school teacher in an attempt to flee the scene of a prank on Friday night. Now, apparently, the school district and police had issued a warning to the kids, like, hey, let's lay off the pranks. But a group of kids, they went to this teacher's house to roll the trees, threw toilet paper up there, right? And this guy, Jaden Wallace, he's 18. They were trying to get away and he was driving. And the teacher, Jason Hughes, a math teacher, came out of the house. Now, as Jaden Wallace was trying to drive away, the teacher, Hughes, fell in the street and he ran him over. So Wallace is charged with first-degree vehicular homicide, reckless driving, criminal trespass, and littering. The students stopped and tried to help Hughes. He died at the hospital. He was 40 years old. The 4 other people in the car have also been charged with criminal trespass and littering. Listen, I get it. I get that sometimes you have to be charged with a crime, even if it was an accident. But I don't think this teacher would want this kid charged with homicide. He did not mean to run the teacher over. It was a stupid, stupid prank that has been going on for decades and decades. A woman was found dead along a canal in Phoenix, prompting speculation over a possible connection to the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie. The remains were found Friday, more than 100 miles from Tucson. That's where the 84-year-old went missing on February 1st. A large amount of evidence recovered from the home, including traces of blood, is still being investigated. However, the sheriff there said it could take a year to analyze it all, including the DNA. I don't even know what you do in this situation. I saw that Savannah Guthrie had gone back to New York and visited her colleagues at the Today Show. Like, how? It's been a month. What do you do? Do you go back to work? I don't even know how you would carry on in a situation like this. Actress Jennifer Runyon, best known for her roles in Ghostbusters and Charles in Charge, has died at the age of 65. No specific cause of death was disclosed, but the family released a statement referencing a lengthy health battle. Now, when I heard this story, I remember her in both in Charles in Charge and Ghostbusters. And I was cleaning the house today, and I was trying to find this bag that had all of these attachments to my vacuum. And I remember I told myself, I'm going to put it here so that I remember where it is. Well, guess what? I couldn't remember where it was. Yet, I can remember the lyrics to the sitcom Charles in Charge. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. And I say, I want Charles in charge of me. Something like that. I know it's a little off key. Travis Kelce appears like he's going to give it one more go in the NFL. The star tight end says he wants to play a 14th season in the league. And he sounding like the door is open for him to play somewhere other than Kansas City. Kelce's contract with the Chiefs expired after last season, and he is an unrestricted free agent in 2026. Kelce has become one of the biggest names in the NFL during his career, on the field and off. Of course, he's engaged to Taylor Swift. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I would love for the Kelce family to come to Buffalo. I would love for Taylor to be here. I would love to see Jason Kelce drunk at every single game and diving through tables. Bring it on. I would love to see him help us get a Super Bowl this year. And finally, a former homeless man's tough day at work took a turn after he bought a lottery ticket. Jonathan G. of Colorado, not sure if it's any relation to Kenny G. It just says G as an abbreviation for the last name. He bought a $20 scratch-off ticket from Walmart, which, is expensive to me, but it paid off for him. He won $1 million. Well, that is the news for today.